Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is write music. I got a comment from one of my readers on my website, ahappierman.com, and it was kind of in response to some of my couple of videos or something I had about songs for aging men, or thank you, Sherry, some of that ideas on music. And the comment had something to do with, well, what is the wrong music? And I had a follow-up response, and it's posted on ahappierman.com about the wrong music, and basically the wrong music is music that makes you feel bad, right? I would argue that the reason for the music is to inspire you and to uplift you and to entertain you, and that if it doesn't do that, if it depresses you, if it irritates you, if it makes you feel sad, depressed, that's the wrong music. So I think it's just as simple as that, right? That you should and I went on to say you should carefully choose your music so it doesn't elicit these emotions in you, because you can use you can use somebody else's bad day or bad time or bad song to depress you. You've got your own life. You don't need help for somebody else to depress you, do you? You want to keep your mood high. So I turn it off. I spend a lot of time with my hand on the radio dial in this truck, driving around, and in other cars I've had, just turning the station, turning the station, turning the station. I don't want to hear songs I don't want to hear. If it gets too laborsome to keep changing the channel, I turn it off. Or, I might have my own CDs or my own music source. Or better yet, I have some motivational, inspirational, creation, manifesting type CDs I listen to. That's even better than music. But let's just say for the normal driving around, yeah, you'd like to have the radio on. It's easier, right? Simpler. And I like simple and easy. But that means, yeah, you got to be flipping the dial, turning the switch, moving on. And that's also why I like to make these videos, because that helps me on a longer drive, pass the time, get some of my thoughts down onto this format here. But the right music is music that you love. What do you love? Listen to that. Myself, I love rock and roll music of various types. I like the rock and roll kind of started kind of that mid-50s. I like that. I like quite a bit of that. It got going heavily in the 60s. I love all that too. Maybe even more than the 50s. The 70s, there's quite a bit of rock music in the 70s. There was some stranger types of music during that time, so it's not all good in the 70s. The 80s is when I was in high school and college, and that was a little bit of a weird time for music. There's quite a bit of music from the 80s that I don't like, but there's quite a bit that I do. And then that early 90s was a very good time. Late 80s, kind of when Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue, that kind of rock and roll music was what I really like. Of course, my favorite band is AC/DC. They're from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and now. So they've just kept chugging along. And of course, their heyday was probably the late 70s and throughout the 80s. That was maybe the best of their music. Maybe mid-70s. Maybe mid-70s even. Certainly the late 70s and all of the 80s and maybe into the early 90s. But that's my favorite. That's the kind of music I like to listen to when I'm getting ready to go out on the town, when I'm getting ready to have a good workout, when I want to sing, when I want to dance, when I want to be happy. That's the kind of music I listen to. And that would be, for me, the right music. The kind of music I've listened to as a kid, as a teenager, college, coming of age in college and early 20s, up to now. I think you'll find most people gravitate to the music they listened to as they were coming of age, you know, teenagers and into their 20s. That's probably the music you're going to love the most. So the music in the last 25 years, not so much for me, not so much. I'll listen to it, and there's been some of it that's probably okay, but if I want to be happier, a happy man, I listen to what I like, the right music for me. I also like country music. Again, it's those that from that heyday time of the 70s and 80s, the 60s country music, in the 50s. I don't know. I listen to a little bit here and there, but it's not quite me. So I can't say that I would go out of my way to listen to that. But the 70s and 80s, yeah, I will go out of my way to listen to that music. That's the right music for me. Now, of course, the country music, a lot of it is kind of centered on heartache, poverty, things gone wrong in relationships, bad times. That's why I have to balance it with the rock. Because you don't want to overdo something that tends to be a little bit of a downer. So what I like the most is when you get these country and rock songs that are uplifting, that make you feel good, puts you in the party mood, gets you happy, gets you singing, gets you moving around. I mean, that to me is the right music. The music, if it's music that makes you get depressed about your wasted years and your lost loves and the times you didn't get anywhere with your life, that would be totally wrong music. Nobody has a right to stuff the music down your throat to make you feel bad. Turn the darn stuff off or look for the stuff you like. Find the right music for you. Now, there you will get a lot of ideas about, you know, maybe there's old time, you know, operas or cultural or Beethoven or Mozart or that kind of thing. I never got into it. I just don't know that it doesn't seem like a type of music that can make me happy. And that's what I want, is music to make me happy, right? And that's what I'm suggesting, that if the music doesn't make you happy, don't listen to it. The right music for you is when you're driving in your car and a song comes on and you're tempted to turn it up and start singing to it, and it makes you forget all your troubles and all your woes. That's the right music for you, right? And I've talked about some of the, you know, let's say the Cher with the Turn Back Time being the apology song for your ex-wife giving you an apology, the Cher, or talk about Phil Collins and Don't Care Anymore, and about the anger song about how bad your ex is treating you. But still, that to me, that's right music for me, because that music helps you to kind of cope, you know, cope with life. Sometimes life can give you just an awful beating. Life has given me an awful beating, and I hope you don't get the wrong idea about me that every bit of my life has been just happy, because as I explain on the happierman.com website, most of my life, not happy, not a happy person, not a happy man. But I've purposefully changed my life to get happier, and I'm sharing it with you, and I feel good about it, and I feel great about my own life. So find the right music for you. Don't just blindly listen to stuff from other people. you know, I've walked into bars and clubs and the music is so terrible I just have to walk right out, right? It's my life. Nobody has a right to ruin it with their choice of music. You know, you got to tune things out when if you don't have the option of leaving. But if you have the option of leaving, leave or turn it off. The other part about the bad music or not the right music is sometimes it's just too blasted loud. You know, being able to hear well deep into your old age is very, very important. You don't want to ruin your hearing with too much loud music. You got to balance the loud with the soft. So yeah, when I'm in the car and I crank the radio for a great song, it's just the one song, right? 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, and then I turn it right back down. And a car radio doesn't really go that loud, right? Unless you beef it up. I don't have mine beefed up. And yeah, maybe you go to a concert and you get a chance to get down there by the band and to hear your favorite song just blaring and you're dancing with a pretty girl, and well, you know, then a short time there is probably fine, right? But make a conscious choice to find the right music for you. Don't just blindly accept the music of others, because the others, you know, they may be more intent on trying to make you feel bad, right? So give that idea some thought. All for now.